Right, Photography 101. Today I want to talk about being positive. Oh, yes. Being positive is very important in your photography. Oh well, I just want to speak on professionals' behalf because not many people out there, are professional, because professionals are those who are actually relying on photography or filmmaking, for the living. So like myself, I make money from photography. And now, of course, YouTube as well. So it is important to stress that we usually see things differently to what other people see. I want to say that just simply because there are too many negativities around these days, and people always very heavy on specifications and numbers. For instance, we professionals actually look at things differently. I'm not trying to say which one is the best, which one is the worst. Of course, technology, you can compare technology very, very easily, and but I just want to say, you are a photographer or content creator, creative, you want to have fun while you're doing your stuff. So why bother in drilling down to all the little gritty bitty things, and why not just focus on what you want to do? And of course, taking great photograph requires a lot of positivities in their mind, and first of all, they don't really think about the cameras being worse than anybody else's, and in fact, all they care about is whether it works or not. It can set the shutter speed, the aperture, the ISO, and so forth. All they need to know is that those things works, and if they all work, that means you can take photographs. As simple as that. And what do you need, about fast AF, more AF points, 1 million ISO, whatever, those things is irrelevant to most photographers or serious photographers. They are more care about the content that they created, the photograph that they capture. So these are the most important points I want to try to make in today's Photography 101. And it's easy to compare, technical specification because they're numbers. But does that mean that bigger numbers better, or like having 50 million megapixel is better than having 49 megapixel, or having 500 AF point is better than 480, or some cameras can shoot 2 million ISO is better than the one that can only shoot like 12,800? No, none of them makes sense, and because cameras companies, they invest so much to push the technological boundaries, but they do that only because they want the technology to move forward, and appreciate that. But as a working professional, I can tell you that we don't look at things like that. We want to trial the camera, we want to assess whether the more megapixel is what we need, and it is, I have a system at home, in the computer system actually tailor for my 20 to 24 megapixel files. So everything is surrounded by that sort of megapixel count. So I don't want to have a system where it's 50 megapixel, because that will completely cock down my storage, my processing power, my workflow and everything. So I would not want that. And even so, for the last 10 years, I've been shooting 20 megapixel cameras, and I'm happy with that, and my clients are happy. I'm constantly printing 10 by 14, 10 by 18, and with no problem at all from a 20 megapixel files, and so I'm super happy. I don't need anything 50, I don't need 45, so to speak. And what about AF points? Well, I primarily am like a wedding and also portrait photographer, documentary photographer. I don't need too many AF points, to be honest. Sport shooters, yes, I can appreciate that, and for me, even one AF point is more than enough for me. And so that's my 2 cents about about my photography, but I'm pretty certain there are people out there who have different needs, so I totally respect that and appreciate that. So this is something that you as a photographer, even you're not professional, don't really get too serious about, you know, the specification too much. You really have to assess what you need. If you constantly shooting in low light situations, you know, like you want to be a paparazzi photographer or a spy, yeah, maybe those 1 million ISO would help. But most cases you want to get the best quality, then you really should try to shoot as low as possible, to be honest. You know, like don't rely on high ISO to bail you out. You know, it's not something that you want to create your photography out. Ultimately, so I want you to be positive about everything you do. You know, like whatever system, whatever camera you use, don't feel bad about yourself. You know, even though, you know, someone might be holding a better camera than you, doesn't mean anything. And even though like 2019 released a camera that is like, you know, on paper it looks like they're a million times better than your cameras, don't worry. You know, there are so many photographers out there still using really old gears, you know, and I guarantee you, you know, like your focus should be on the photography skills, mastering, reading the lights, and actually taking better photographs than having the greatest and the latest gear. Yes, I do reviews on the Olympus gears and latest stuff. I have a working relationship with them, and I do upgrade my cameras every 2 years simply because I use it so much, and I need the reliability, because I know by the end of the second years most of my cameras will be kind of reaching the end of life. Because you know, if you remember my M1 Mark II review, you know, I already shot 150 clicks, you know, that was last year, so now it would have been 200k by now. So, you know, this is kind of reaching the end of the shutter cycle anyway. So yes, I will upgrade to the M1X, and you know, that's something that I need to do, because you know, ultimately as a professional, you don't want your gear to break down in the middle of the shoot, and then, you know, it's not very good. Even though I have backups, but still, you know, you want a main camera to be as reliable as possible, so you don't have to change all the time. But for amateurs, you know, like your camera should last for years and years of service without having to worry about it. But most professional, you know, they upgrade so often simply because, you know, they need to really. So I guess this is the end of our video today, and yes, this Photography 101 series will continue. There will be more practical solutions or practical videos in the future about, you know, taking better photos, how to take better photos and things like that, how to use depth of field, how to use certain lenses, you know, whatever you can think of. You know, I'm gonna start expanding this series dramatically over the year. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's all about setting your mindset right, and remember, be happy, go enjoy yourself and take better photos and be happy. Until next time, see you later. Bye. Woo.